Howdy folks, I'm Sincere Sugar Maple, sweetly sharing with Swell Swallowtails.
I'm Amber.
And here are more Swell Swallowtails for us to share with because we're just sharing our sickly sweet sugar maple sap for them, which is slowly taking over their minds.
No,
Yes.
no, you're sweet sugar maple. You're not mean.
No, we're not mean, we're sweet. And soon we'll have our army of swallows to help us take over the world.
Swallowtail butterflies.
Oh, and even better, butterflies will help us conquer the world.
No.
Let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Serving Boxed Mac and Cheese for a Get-Together with Friends? I invited some of my friends, I'm a 33-year-old female, over last week as we hadn't seen each other in a little while. Everyone goes their own way, and they have kids and jobs. I was really excited because it has been a really long time, and it's been rough for everyone. I didn't really think too hard about what to eat or anything like that because my mom always said when you do stuff like this, it isn't about the food, it's about spending time with loved ones and drinking as well. I had a few boxes of mac and cheese and some chicken nuggets made up. And of course, we had beer for everyone too. So when it came time for everyone to eat, I told them to grab a bowl. They acted like this was really weird, like it wasn't something we all eat all the time. They said that it was weird for me to invite everyone to dinner, but at the same time, serve kids' food for them. I didn't really know what to say because to me, it isn't kids' food. I eat it all the time and I'm 33. Two of them even refused to eat it and said that they hadn't eaten chicken nuggets since they were kids and made dramatic icky faces about it. I guess that I'm the jerk for serving boxed mac and cheese to everyone. I thought that it was about us being together and catching up, but I guess they expected a fancy meal from me. I feel really sad that it went this way, and I don't really feel like they understand. Am I the jerk? And the boxed mac and cheese wasn't Kraft, it was Annie's. All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. That sounds like a perfectly reasonable dinner. I mean, we've even served mac and cheese to my family before. Annie's Mac, when they had the rotinis and would put like little breadcrumbs on top and bake it. It's really tasty.
Yeah, and the garlic bread, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think that really depends on the expectations of the friendship, right? And I think that it was really odd that the friends didn't ask ahead of time about what they were having or if they didn't offer to bring anything. Now, I can understand if they have kids, then it might feel a little like, oh, we're eating the same thing that we serve our kids type of thing, right?
I honestly don't like the kids food, adult food divide because there are some kids who have really adventurous palates and there are some adults who like me who like simpler food. Like I have my veggie nuggets every day, basically.
Yeah, well, I said it's stuff that they serve their kids, right? I'm not saying that it's kids' food, but they certainly would serve it to their kids, and it might be something that they're kind of bored with. And, you know, they're kind of plainer foods that they might have been looking for something a little bit more fancy, you know, something that, you know, they could all enjoy. But I think that this is just kind of a fundamental lack of communication at its core, right? No, Amber doesn't think so?
I mean, I just don't, it just is baffling to me that you would be upset about mac and cheese and nuggets. I mean, obviously I couldn't eat the nuggets, but like, if someone were to serve me Annie's Mac, I would like that better than a fancy dinner. So I'm like, this sounds like a great meal, and the other people just sound kind of rude for being so offended by boxed mac and cheese.
Well, I think that they were rude to say stuff like, oh, or to push the plate away essentially, and to be like, no, I refuse to eat this, right? Because when you're a guest over at someone's house, you don't have to make a rude comment like that, right? You can just say, oh no, I'm not interested in that right now. So I think that the guests were certainly rude for making comments about the food, and in the future maybe they could talk about their expectations for what they would like at a get-together like this, right?
Or they can host themselves if they don't like the food Opie serves.
Well, I mean, they can bring stuff, right? They can bring, like a potluck, they can all bring something and contribute. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Asking My non-bio daughter to put some clothes on? reposting this because my first post got taken down just a few minutes ago. I'm a 51-year-old man, and I have known my wife since I was around 9 years old, and we've been best friends our entire lives. She had married another man years ago, but they divorced amicably. Together, they had one daughter, JC, who's now 25 years old and a grad student at our state university. JC is visiting her mother and me this weekend, and she is very busy. Whenever she's at our house, she dresses very lightly. She walks around wearing a sports bra, tank tops, boxer shorts, etc. I don't think that there should be any shame in me saying that JC is very attractive. Today, my daughter was just in her room with her door open, wearing her usual stuff, basically nothing. I entered her room and basically told her from the bottom of my heart that this kind of tantalizing behavior with the clothes is getting tiresome. So we started the day with a big fight, and my daughter and my wife are in JC's room with her doors locked. They're discussing something. All right, folks, what do you think? What do you think they're discussing?
I mean, hopefully they're discussing getting the wife and daughter out of here. Yeah, OP, I think you're in the wrong here. First of all, she is not doing this to tantalize you. She is just trying to be comfortable in her own home. And the fact that you made this about her doing this for you to like seduce you is really weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the implications that OP has here are not great. I can understand him being uncomfortable with the amount of clothing, but again, like that is a him thing to kind of work through, right? Maybe he could talk to her, maybe he could say something, but in the end, she should be able to be comfortable in her own house, right?
Well, this isn't even like she's in some state of undress. Like, I know people have different feelings about nudity, but she's hanging out in her own room, everything covered. I don't see why that's an issue, why he has to butt into her room and be like, by the way, seeing you through that peeking at you through that gap in your door. Oh, that makes me feel so tantalized. You need to stop that.
Yeah. Well, the things that he's describing here is that she has a sports bra on, tank tops, and boxer shorts. I mean, I don't know that any of those on their own are particularly scandalous, right? So I think that this is, again, a more like a him type of problem where he needs to look inwardly and ask himself why he has such a problem with this, right? I can understand, the daughter, she should be comfortable in her own home. She shouldn't be being sexualized by her stepfather. And I think that that's really where this kind of falls. And I don't blame her for being offended. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Defending My Daughter's Choice to Turn Down a Boy's Advances? And Amber wants to read this one.
Hello all, my husband and I have been arguing about this all day and I need some outside perspective. My husband picked my daughter Cindy up from school and saw her speaking to a schoolmate that she had previously had a crush on. For context, last year during a sleepover, my husband and I overheard Cindy's friends lightly teasing her over having a crush on this boy. My husband also gently teased her with some innocent jokes like Cindy and boy sitting in a tree, KISSING, type of silliness, and he sometimes brings it up randomly to tease her, like asking her if she wants to invite her boyfriend when we go on family outings. She never actually dated him or is even friends with him as far as we know. Her dad just likes to tease her. Anyway, apparently over the summer the boy was injured in an accident and he missed the first couple of weeks of school as a result. When my husband was picking her up, he saw them talking and noticed that the boy had significant scarring on his face and hand. When he asked her what happened to him and what they were talking about, saying that the boy looked disappointed, she explained to him about the accident and that he was just asking her out on a date, but that she turned him down. My husband was furious at her and scolded her for being so shallow as to reject him because his appearance has changed. Cindy was crying when she got home. She told me all this and insisted she was polite when turning him down and was just not interested in him romantically anymore. I told my husband to apologize to my daughter and that he never should have made her feel bad for turning down anyone's romantic advances. I told her that our daughter is old enough to decide who she is attracted to, and it would be cruel of her to have to say yes out of pity, thus leading him on. My husband is now saying that he sees me differently and that I should be ashamed for teaching Cindy to be a shallow monster and ableist. He is also angry that I undermined him when he was scolding our daughter and says we should not undermine each other's authority when disciplining our child. I was not doing it to undermine him. I just think it's not healthy to make our daughter feel guilty and shamed for not being interested in someone. I do feel bad for the boy, but I don't think it's anyone's place, neither mine nor my husband's, to tell Cindy she has to date someone or she's a bad person. Am I the jerk? Edit. Wow, I did not anticipate this getting so many responses when I wrote it last night before bed. I'm trying to read through all the replies so I can approach this with my husband again later today. I'm also going to have a talk privately with Cindy about the situation. Thank you all so much for the responses. I feel more confident now in my choice to defend Cindy. My husband is not a bad guy. He didn't tease Cindy to hurt her. It was to be playful, and Cindy didn't seem too bothered by it. She would usually brush him off when he made these jokes. I think my husband was short-sighted when it came to the situation, but he is not a bad father, and he really loves me and his daughter, even if he makes mistakes sometimes.
All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I think it is absolutely important that the daughter understands that she has autonomy over her own body and that she is not the possession of another person.
Well, yeah, I think so too. I mean, kids are fickle and they change their minds all the time about who they're attracted to and who they're interested, right?
Right. And like, I do think there are places to have conversations here, if they do suspect that it's because of the scarring, they could revisit conversations about people's value being like internal and stuff like that. But again, people have their preferences, and you should not force someone or ask them like they owe it to someone to date them.
Well, and then also the teasing, right? The teasing may have been what drove her away from having a crush on him to begin with, right?
Exactly. Like, as much as OP's like, well, she didn't seem to mind, like, kids sometimes will shut down those emotions because they know if they get an emotional reaction, then dad's going to poke her that much harder.
Well, and that's exactly it, is right. I mean, she may have learned already that if she reacts emotionally with any kind of reaction here, then he'll, dig into her harder, right? And I mean, that's a hard thing for a kid to deal with, and that's what kids do, though, right? Like, they will learn how to emotionally deflect these kinds of things, and that isn't really a great way of parenting, I think, right? I mean, he needs to make sure that if he is teasing her, that this isn't bothering her, but really teasing her over her crushes. Like, I think that what a better thing is to do is to actually just sit down and talk to your kid about their feelings and whatnot, as opposed to just like, aha, I'm going to tease you relentlessly about your crush.
Right. What's the goal here? Is the goal to have an open and honest relationship with your child? If that's the goal, teasing them is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the way you ensure the kid is, going to potentially hide things from you and not want to show their emotions.
Yeah. So I think that the teasing really isn't going to help. And I think you really bring up a good point. What is the point of the teasing? Why is OP teasing their daughter? Is he having fun at his daughter's expense?
And that's my guess. I mean, why do parents do these kind of things? They find some humor in seeing their kids squirm. And I know kids can do the same thing to parents, They're like, oh, Mom, you're so blah, blah, blah. Dad, you're so blah, 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 But like, it does seem a little, like, I can't understand what this is other than trying to get a rise out of her and enjoying her discomfort.
Yeah. And that's what it feels like. But as for her decision, again, I think that the big focus here is her autonomy, right? And I think that if OP was concerned and her husband were concerned, they could sit down and talk to her and kind of, help her work through some of these emotions, right? But I mean, it is not something that anyone can make a decision for her. I mean, she's the only one who can make the decision about whether she wants to date a boy or whatnot, right?
Right. At the end of the day, even if she has, shallow, as the word may be, preferences when it comes to people, it's still not right to tell her that you have to date someone who isn't according to your preferences. You can raise someone and try and instill them with values of love and empathy and compassion, but that still shouldn't overrule their autonomy when it comes to who they date.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Turning a Wedding Dress into a Cosplay rather than letting my cousin have it for her wedding? I'm a 27-year-old female, and I'm an avid cosplayer, and my girlfriend, a 28-year-old female, and I go to all the conventions that we can, and we have a lot of fun making our costumes together and prepping for the year. 3 months ago, I, my girlfriend, and my cousin, a 30-year-old female, went around charity shops looking for pieces that we could turn into cosplays. My cousin isn't a cosplayer, but she tagged along as she likes a good bargain hunt. In the third shop that we went to, we found in the window an old school wedding dress. It had a few stains and minor rips, but it was in good condition. My girlfriend and I joked with my cousin that she could buy it for her wedding, but she turned her nose up at it, saying that she wanted a brand new dress and she would not be caught dead in an old-fashioned wedding dress. We let it go, and my girlfriend was the one to point out to me if we did some alterations, it would be a perfect dupe for Sarah's ball gown in Jim Henson's Labyrinth, which is our favorite movie. I realized that she was right and asked her if she wanted to make this our next major matching costume. She agreed for the convention season of 2025 that we would be Jareth and Sarah. I bought the dress, and my cousin made a few jokes about it, but we have heard nothing back from her, not until 2 days ago. I've been posting progress of my dress on social media, and it's finally done, and it looks amazing. My cousin told me that she's not found a dress that she likes, and I've done wonders with this dress, that she's changed her mind, and she would be happy to meet me at the price that I paid, £150. And even throw in an extra £100 for my time for fixing it up. I laughed and I asked her if she was joking, and she told me that she was deadly serious, and I told her that that wasn't happening. This led to a fight, and I was getting annoyed. My girlfriend took the phone at this point and told her that she had her chance to get the dress, and that it's a cosplay now, not a wedding dress. We've since been bombarded by family trying to get in contact, some pleading, some trying to cajole us, and others straight up berating us for not letting my cousin buy the dress, or better yet, being a good cousin and gifting it to her. That I shouldn't turn a charity shop wedding dress into a costume, as it stopped the brides who really needed having it. I'm getting stressed and upset with this, and my girlfriend currently is fielding any calls that we get and telling them off for upsetting me. She's a wonder, and I'm so grateful to have her with me for all of this. Am I the jerk though? I'm starting to worry because of the widespread reaction. This is the first time that I bought a wedding dress to convert it like this, but it was already damaged, and I've brought it back to life. Surely it's better than being ignored like it was. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, the cousin had the opportunity to buy the dress. She chose not to. OP's time and energy she's poured into this is probably worth a lot more than £100. Not that OP would be obligated to sell it at the price the cousin, like even the cousin fairly compensated her, but it's kind of insulting for the cousin to like devalue her work so much and want to take this hard-earned project away from OP.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you were to say, for instance, that this was 20 pounds per hour or something like that, that's 5 hours, right?
Right.
And OP sounds like they've spent a lot more than 5 hours working on this. And that would be like the absolute, like, bare minimum per hour that someone should get paid for doing this kind of work, right?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who has casually done some sewing and cosplaying stuff in the past, it takes a lot of time and energy to do these kind of projects.
So I don't think that OP is wrong for saying no. You know, she did have her opportunity to buy this, and it's a couple's costume too, on top of that, right? So if OP were to sell the dress, then her partner wouldn't have the couple's costume anymore. They would have to go and make a new dress entirely, right?
Right. And I mean, I also want to address the point about it being wrong to revamp the dress. I don't think OP did anything wrong there. Like she pointed out, this dress was already damaged. So whoever bought it was going to have to revamp it. And it, you know, so I could understand the upset if OP had bought like, you know, a designer modern dress at, you know, for a song and then, you know, turn it into a cosplay. I still wouldn't necessarily be in the OP still wouldn't necessarily be in the wrong, but like we're talking about like an old kind of stained, a little bit damaged wedding dress that needed work.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would be a hard sell, right? And since it was in a charity shop, that money is going to be able to go to charity, which is also going to be able to do good. So I don't think that OP is wrong here. I mean, I think that they've probably done good for one, buying a damaged wedding dress and then having that money go to good causes. And then two, I mean, you're right. I mean, this dress wouldn't have probably gotten bought otherwise. It may have just ended up in a landfill at a certain point, and OP, you brought it back to life and gave it more use from here. So I think that they have done a good job with this, and it's a real shame that their family is harassing them now. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
I accidentally hit myself in the head with a can of soda. Thankfully, it was a soft drink.
I see. Or maybe your head was just soft. And I have a Mega Mint. Brian laughing at his own jokes. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior, folks.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on upcycling.
Upcycling can be a great way to bring new life to old garments.
Yeah, I think that works. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.